And it is time to jump into the next installment of our Pokemon history and lore series as we explore the evolution line of the feline Pokemon Sprigatito, Floragato, and Meowscarada, the grass type starters of the Paldea region. Now, does this cute and cuddly creature maintain this innocence throughout its evolution? Or in it, does there lie a more devious and dangerous secret? This is the story of Meowscarada. All right, let's clarify something right off the bat. I might have misspoke about Sprigatito. They tend to be capricious, attention seeking, jealous Pokemon, and it is not uncommon for them to sulk around if they don't get the attention that they desire, or if that attention is given to other Pokemon. So that means they're more high maintenance than they are innocent, but still, look at this thing. That's like adorable. It's so cute. It's so cuddly. That still stands true. And when it rubs its paws together like this, it has the ability to create and unleash a sweet and therapeutic aroma. Talk about aromatherapy. And this mesmerizes anybody or anything that's nearby, causing foes to stop battling or the target to calm down. Then it kills it. No. Actually, Sprigatito can and does spread this aroma around while it moves around in its sleep, and this actually helps it sleep a more peaceful sleep, and it also helps other Pokemon fall asleep and maintain their sleep as well. The scent itself will increase in potency when Sprigatito is exposed to direct sunlight. Additionally, because the fur has similar properties to those of a plant, it can actually perform photosynthesis by absorbing moisture into its fur while it grooms itself. And this means it will constantly or regularly groom itself so that way it doesn't dry out. When given enough attention, when given enough love, it will evolve into Floragato, or at level 16. Meaning, when well entertained, when well supported, and let's face it, when it's the center of attention, Floragato flourishes as it loves to show off. And this can be further proved and evidenced by its ability and characteristics to be quite dexterous and intelligent in battle, and it will use the power of sleight of hand to make a vine appear and disappear, but it's really tucked hidden within its fur, and attached to this vine is a hard pink flower bud. And it uses this as a weapon. If you can just think of the old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies with Michelangelo, when he goes around the world, that's exactly what Floragato does. And due to this upright stance, we actually see a type of fencing type style, or more specifically a rapier, in Floragato's attacks. These vines can also be used to wrap up and tie up the enemy, or even pull the enemy towards Floragato, or to knock off objects that the enemy is holding. It isn't just for violence, though. So Floragato will also use the vine and the bud as a type of a toy and a sleep aid. And it will play with it as it falls asleep. And when not in use, flower bud is kept on the left side of the chest, much like a boutonniere or those trick flowers that clowns have that spray water into your face. Now, contrary to Floragato's ability to flourish when given attention, when the trainer has not given it attention, or if it becomes jealous of the other Pokemon that are receiving attention, its mischievous nature comes to the forefront. For example, it will wrap up and hog-tie its trainer while they are asleep as a punishment and as a demand for more attention. So high maintenance. They also possess the ability to harden and soften their fur, depending on their mood. Meaning when they're more relaxed, their fur is very soft. And you can pet it and there's no issues. However, when it's in a bad mood and when it's trying to punish its trainer, those hairs, that fur, will become sharp as needles. And if you try to touch it, bing, ouch, you get stabbed. Now, Meowscarada, the final evolution, reaches this evolution at level 36 are well known to be skilled magicians that revel in the fact that they can misdirect their opponent in battle, gaining the advantage to strike a critical blow. By using the reflective characteristics of their fur that lines their cape and their neck area, they can hide the stem to their four-petaled green flower. This creates the illusion that it is just floating in midair, effectively confusing the foe, allowing Meowscarada to throw bombs at them, literally. The flower can blossom into a pollen filled flower bomb that Meowscarada plants all over the battlefield. The foe is discombobulated from the dazzling magic performed by Meowscarada. And if you run into it, pow, right in the kisser, you explode. It'll even try to perform magic in its sleep, but these performances, quite obviously, do not end well for it. Now, Meowscarada is the only Pokemon able to use the move Flower Trick. This is a 70-based grass-type physical move that never misses and that always lands a critical hit. And again, that goes back to what we were talking about before. Meowscarada can misdirect. It can use this power of illusion to confuse their enemy, to get in close, and then strike a critical blow. That equates to the move Flower Trick. Similar to the pre-evolutions, not only is Meowscarada a proud, skilled, flamboyant mon, it is very prone to jealousy, and it will become very attached to its trainer, which isn't a bad thing, but it will become upset and have a sour disposition toward its trainer or other Pokemon that might steal the spotlight. The inspiration of Sprigatito are going to be, and actually for all of the cats, the three cats, all of them are going to be based on a type of a wild cat, maybe a Himalayan cat, a ragdoll cat, or even an Iberian lynx. The facial markings of Meowscarada may take inspiration from those Himalayan cats, a magician's mask. Also, it could be inspired just by a leaf. It is a grass-type Pokemon, and if you actually look at the pattern, it looks like an actual leaf, and it's completed by its mouth. Its tufts and collar may pull inspiration from the Jussin de Lis heraldic charge, which depicts a fleur de lis issuing out of the head of a feline. It's also known as a leopard in heraldry. Its habit of sunbathing to photosynthesize might be based on, we've all seen cats sort of sunbathe and sort of bask in the sun and seek out sources of warmth, typically before sleeping. That could be why they are able to photosynthesize. The name Sprigatito may be from the root word sprig, which means a small stem of a plant, or spring, and gatito, right? Spring, and then also gatito, which is a Spanish word for kitten. Florigato, again, based on those same cats. The flower bud and the vine also resemble a yo-yo, and the bud being kept on the chest. We also discussed that it's like a boutonniere or a flower on clothing. Also, it can be reminiscent of those trick flowers of clowns. The yo-yo, just for a backstory, is actually created by a gentleman from the Philippines, and he created the yo-yo, brought it over to here, and he started the first yo-yo company. Eventually, the rights were bought out by Duncan Yo-Yo, but that's pretty cool that it started with the Filipino maker. I only say that because I'm half Filipino. Now, the way Florigato conceals the vines is obviously very reminiscent of sleight of hand, and then the boot patterns on Florigato's legs, together with the sort of cunning and mischievous nature, can be a reference to Puss in Boots. And no, I'm not talking about Shrek Puss in Boots. There is a famous fairy tale in Europe about an anthropomorphic cat who wore boots and was a trickster, and Florigato has heavy influences from that Puss in Boots. Now, the name Florigato is a combination of flora or floor, which in Portuguese or in Spanish, it stands for flower, and then gato, which is the Spanish word and Portuguese word for cat. Meowscarada also based on those cats. Also has heavy influences from a magician, right? It's very fast. The dark typing and then the sleight of hand obviously feed into that inspiration. Its signature move, Flower Trick, is going to be based on magic tricks that involve making flowers appear. You know, the poof, and then there's that the flower there. The mask and the ears of Meowscarada are reminiscent of the cap worn by jesters, and then the diamonds on the mask are intended to invoke like a harlequin stop character, and then they're also used in French suited playing cards. Now, with the round shape and the 6 prominent petals, Meowscarada's flower can resemble the pomegranate, a fruit that is and does have pretty important cultural implications to Spain, such as Grenada. And it's really cool. This also ties into its nature as an explosive. As grenades, the fact that they explode, pomegranates look like grenades, right? When you look at a grenade, it actually looks like pomegranate, and that's what the flower of Meowscarada looks like. And the flower of Meowscarada actually does explode. So that's pretty cool how you can track that down. There are also real world examples of flowers that explode. And this is just one of the very many varied strategies to disperse their seeds and make sure that the lineage continues. And this is known as ballistic dispersal. Now, Meowscarada takes inspiration additionally from the masquerade ball, and that was originated in the court in the culture of Burgundy in the 15th century and quickly kind of diffused throughout France. If you're thinking of Mardi Gras, the masks in Mardi Gras are also, you could see those inspirations in Meowscarada. And then the flowers thrown around the Mardi Gras in New Orleans, right? They look a lot alike. And then this motif, this magician motif of dark typing is also a reference to what we call the gentleman thief, or the gentleman thief archetype, or that's also known as the phantom thief, a trope that was popularized by Maurice Leblanc's famous character Arsène Lupin. And this guy had some pretty elaborate heists that were seemingly inspired by magicians or magic shows. And again, that dark typing theme and the jesters can also reference the fact that jesters themselves not uncommonly made a mockery of other people, and especially of kings. And the name Meowscarada is going to be a combination of meow, as in a cat, meow, and then mascarada, which is Spanish and Portuguese for masquerade. And there we go. Meowscarada. I'll be honest, Skeledirge was overall just my favorite starter. I did like Sprigatito more than the other 2 starters, like Quaxley and Coco. I liked Sprigatito the most. However, for whatever reason, by the end of it, I was more of a fan of Skeledirge's final evolution than I was of Meowscarada. And to be honest, Quaquaval, I couldn't care less. I didn't like the design. I get it, but I didn't like the way it looked. But yeah, I mean, I still appreciate Meowscarada. It was cool to do this, the research on this one. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, as well as the next Pokemon you'd like me to do. Please, if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. It would really mean a lot. And check out some of our other lore and Pokemon opening videos. I'll catch you in the next episode. Peace.